Well, hello there. Welcome to Mind Your Business. I am Alma Duncan, founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. I love to help others in their pursuit of personal development through training, coaching, mentoring, events, and writing. Mind Your Business is our weekly podcast where we share enriching content to help Africans, especially women, create wealth and impact people. Now, Mind Your Business is one of our free resources, but if you prefer to work with me one-on-one for coaching, training, mentoring, or any other support you feel you need, go to amaduncan.com/store where you can book a discovery call with me. The link is always in the caption. Right, so let's talk about Mind Your Business, the episode for this week. Actually, so what I've started is a new series called Understanding the Times. And I started this last week where we talked about taking care of our spiritual well-being in these times. We're using the model that Dr. Margaret Swarbrick created. That's the 8 dimensions of wellness. So we are looking at the 8 different dimensions. Last week we did spiritual. Thank you for the feedback for those of you who reached out and commented or sent messages. Now, this week we are going to look at another dimension. So the plan is over the next, for the 8 weeks, we are going to look at one dimension per week. So this is what we are doing, and I hope you are in on it with me. This week, we are focusing on physical wellness. And to help us do this, we have the amazing TNU. You've probably heard of TNU. At least a couple of months ago, we interviewed Sena, who is the founder. Today, Sena is joining us with one of her fabulous and a sought-after fitness coach. So let me tell you about the two of them. Tracy Sena Yeboah, that's her full name. She is actually a lifestyle coach and founder of TNU. TN stands for The New. So The New You, TNU Fitness. And Coach Diana Janie is a fitness coach and also happens to be the head of nutrition at TNU Fitness. I am excited about this conversation with them. I know there's so much more I can learn. I'm constantly learning about nutrition, fitness. Currently, I'm even exploring some new dishes from different places. I'm trying all these, and sometimes my family members, I'm just, when I try something and it's nice, I'm trying to get them also to taste, and sometimes, Charlie, it's not going well. But it's fine. So the two of them are going to help us explore the different things that we could be focusing on in these times. What are these times? These are the times that we are having things like prices doubling, and this is causing some people fear, panic. Others are like, oh my God, this is an opportunity. So depending on where you are, it's an interesting time anyway. So they're going to help us just focus on what to do in these times. So stay tuned. Oh my goodness, ladies, I am so happy to have you both here. It's exciting to have people who are passionate about fitness for this conversation. And like I've mentioned over and over again, these are interesting times. And I'm so happy that we have two of the best gurus in the country and in Africa when we talk fitness, having a conversation with us about physical wellness. Coach Diana and Lady Boss Sena, how are you both?
We are fabulous. Well, I am super fabulous.
Thank you. Yes, fabulous is definitely the word. And it's nice
Fantastic. I'm fabulous.
It's really nice that in these times, we can feel fabulous. We can still use that word fabulous even in these times. To God be all the glory.
To God be all the glory. Say it again.
All right, Sena. So I'm going to start with you. I know that, we have talked to the audience about your business, but if you can shed a little bit of light or a little more light on what you do. You are in a business in which you are helping people like me and lovely women out there stay physically well so that they can thrive. You see, I chose my word carefully, not survive, but thrive. Go beyond surviving. Tell us, for starters, what are your specific roles in your organization? So I'm starting with you, Sena, and then you can go, Diana.
Yes, please. First of all, a very big thank you for having me. All right. So for us in TNU, we are obsessed. We are passionate about the health and wellness of women. And the reason is because we realize that a lot of, like, the average woman is overwhelmed. You know, like, we are taking care of our partners, we're taking care of the children, we are managing work, we are managing, I mean, some are in school, you know, some are doing side gigs, and it's just like overwhelming. You know, so most people tend to undermine their health. It's not their fault. It's just because, like, I mean, there's finite hours in a day. So by the time we are done helping everybody else, you realize that there's like literally no time for yourself. You know, and this is causing the first of all, the demise of a lot of young women. And also a lot of women are developing all these lifestyle related diseases that are preventable. You know, so for us, our focus is, let's help these busy women to live healthy amidst their busy schedule. You know, so TNU, it's virtual wherever you are in the world. I mean, Coach Diana is in Egypt. You know, I mean, we have coaches from over 10 different countries. So wherever you are in the world, you can be a part of our community, because we believe that positivity is very contagious. When you find yourself in an environment where every other woman is trying, I mean, just thriving amidst all the challenges that life throws our way. You know, so specifically, we help with the meal planning, just so that you can know what to eat, you know, and then, I mean, of course, the exercise as well, because it's a big part of what we do, because we realize that a lot of people are inactive. So the exercise, and then, of course, personal coaches. And we have the best personal coaches who are not just helping you to lose weight. Like, I mean, we do have some clients who say that, Sena, I think my coach is more interested in my health than myself. You know, so the coaches are really passionate. I mean, they will literally, whatever it takes to get you to do what you need to do in order to get your result, we do it for you. So, I mean, this has been the journey of TNU. We're 7 years plus and counting. And by the grace of God, over 3,000 plus women have been transformed through our lifestyle change movement.
Wow, congratulations, Sena. You're doing
Thank you. To God be all the glory.
All right, Coach Diana. I heard Sena calling you Diana, so that's what I'm going to go with. Tell us your role at TNU as well, and a little bit about yourself, something we don't know publicly.
Okay, so my name is Diana. I live in Egypt. I've been in Egypt for the past 6 years, and I'm loving I am a coach for TNU. What do I do as a coach? So we have a lot of women who come in and, Diana or TNU, I need help. I am with life-related diseases. I am obese. I have cholesterol. I have diabetes. I have hypertension. And the doctor tells me that the only way that this can be reversed is when I do a lifestyle change. So for us in TNU, the whole idea is a lifestyle change program. We are not a diet. We don't believe in it. We believe that just going a step further to do, change a little bit of yourself, change a little bit of what you do, just don't become sedentary, is going to help you to chart that path of being healthy. And so this is what I do as a coach, to help people move from just being sedentary, move from eating whatever they see, being intentional about what they put in their bodies, because this is the body that is you're going through with a journey as in life. And so just being intentional about what you do, being intentional about the food you eat, drinking adequate water, and all that is what we do in TNU. And as a coach, I do that. Yes. So this is briefly about what.
when you said not just eating what you see, I remember this joke about the seafood disorder. You know, whatever I see, I eat. Oh my God. Anywho, so for the purpose of this conversation, we are focusing on physical wellness. And I want to start with you, Coach Diana. If you can tell us, please, what does it mean or what does it really entail for you? You answer, and then after that, Sena will also give her take on this.
Okay, so when people hear about physical wellness, the first thing that comes into their mind is, me, I am not big. I am not fat. I don't really need to be, I don't need to move around. I don't need to run and all that. But physical wellness is more than that. Physical wellness includes your movement. It includes what you're eating. It includes your stress level. It includes your hydration. And so for us in TNU, we are not only talking about move, run. No. In fact, we also want to also challenge you mentally. And so we tell our queens that it's not only about our physical being, it's also about our mental health. Because you know that our mental health is very important when it comes to women. So it is holistic. Physical well-being is moving, it is eating in the right proportions, having your macros on point. It is about your stress level. And you know that a lot of women are stressed. Most of us are looking at other people. We are not even filling our jars. And so taking out from our jars, in fact, is non-existent. How do we fill other people's jars? So we ensure that we are filling your jar so that you are not that cranky woman who is always upset about any little thing. You are you are hydrated, your stress level is on point, and that's all about being physically fit.
Fabulous. I love the definition. I love that it includes nutrition and even, movement and hydration. When you said hydration, I just took a look at my glass and I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you. I love that. And I love that you stress that also affects even your mental well-being. So, it cuts across. It affects everything, even your prayer life, sex life, and all that. So thank you for touching on that. And Sena, for you as well, you are the leading lady in this industry, and you've put together all these fabulous coaches, and you mentioned that you've served over 3,000 women in the past 7 years. That's just amazing. Let me congratulate you ladies and all your other group members listening. You're doing, what I see what you are doing as a ministry, actually. It's not just work, but you are really helping women like us, be able to thrive and do all these other things we need to do. So really, 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 God bless you. God bless you. Now, please tell me, Sena, in terms of the physical wellness of these women you are serving, in these times that we are in, what are the trends that you're noticing?
It's quite crazy to tell you the truth. We are in. I was telling someone that bad in the past few months. I used to say, "Oh no, it's so bad now." But now I think bad is even understatement. Bad is understatement. It's like everything is so unpredictable. You're speaking with someone, you're trying to negotiate something. The person tells you, "Oh no, I can only negotiate when you are making the payment. Because whatever I say to you now, it's not going to hold tomorrow morning." And I'm like, come on, what is going on? So there's a lot of anxiety, and there's a lot of fear. We are not too sure to what's going to happen. And I saw this funny post of people looking like skeletons. And then someone tagged that Ghanaians in 2024.
Oh, dear Lord, I refuse it in Jesus' name. This booty of mine is not shrinking like that to become a skeleton. Hey, it won't happen.
It's quite crazy, but being in that state where currently there are loads of things that we can't control. Loads of things, like the price of stuff. We can't control, like you're buying fuel. You can't even control how much it would take to fill the tank.
I tell you.
In the past, like when I'm filling my tank, I just say, okay, fill it. But now I'm like, okay, 600 cuts. It's okay. Forget about filling it. But one thing that we can control is our physical health, our physical well-being. That's the one thing that we have absolute control over. Because you see, what we are going through, it's a wind that is blowing. It will pass. But you see, we don't want the season to pass, and now you've undermined your health. Now you have to deal with the repercussion of having poor health. Because you see, one of the things that we don't want to add to our cost now is the cost of medication. Just because you're not being active enough, so now you have issues like your knees are paining, your back, and all the diseases that come from being immobile. Just because you're not eating the right thing, so now like your cholesterol is high, your sugar levels are high. So we need to ensure that as for our physical well-being, and Coach Diana has mentioned all the pillars. The eating, the moving, the drinking water. I have a term that I say, pee your way into good health. So like all these little things, that we can do just to ensure that, because this is the only body we have. This body is the only thing taking us through this experience called life. In the good times and the bad times. So whether we get to the pinnacle of our success, the pinnacle of our career, the pinnacle of yes, we build a Fortune 500 company and all that. We don't want to get to that point and realize that, okay, our health has been lost. Now we have to use all the hard-earned money to take care of it. So yes, we are in very difficult time, ladies. Yes, our fabulous ladies listening to us, but let's ensure that the only thing we can control, which is our health, we take good care of it intentionally. And in this like very difficult time, like the intentional has to be like in caps. Otherwise it won't happen. Because like we are all trying to, okay, how can we make more money so that we can afford all the skyrocketing prices and everything? But amidst all of that, let's think about moving. Let's think about putting in the right things, okay? Because we need to feed ourselves, because without the physical health, without that state of being strong enough to be able to carry on with all the things that you have to do, you can't even achieve anything. Even when the season passes and then our season of abundance comes, you realize that now you have to spend a lot of your hard-earned money to just take care of the health that was undermined during a difficult time.
Yeah. That's some deep stuff. And, even though you talked about, yes, the fact that these times are bad, there's anxiety and fear. I loved it when you said the one thing we can control is our physical health. And then another thing I loved was when you said, this will pass. Oh, God bless your lips.
Amen.
The fact that, yes, this too shall pass. Even COVID,
yes.
That pass, then how much more or less this? So yeah, by God's grace, this too will pass. And then indeed, of course, we should take care of our bodies. And I really like what you're saying. It's not just about worrying about, okay, how do I make sure I can buy this and that? But even the body, that is like key, right? We have to take care of it now.
Yeah.
And Coach Diana, I'm wondering, is there any other silver lining you're seeing in these times, in spite of the anxiety, fear, and all these things that you're seeing? Is there any other thing that you're noticing as an opportunity for us women in terms of our wellness to be paying attention to?
So when it comes to these things, in the midst, I always say that in the midst of the pressures, in the midst of all the issues, usually there's one thing that you can say that I am going to do. And most of the time, when you look at it, you can tell yourself, oh my goodness, can I cut here? Because now there's a lot of pressure on money. So when people say there's a lot of pressure on money, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, what I tell them is that, are there places that I can hold on? Are there places that I can do this? Are there places that I can manage not to do? Because most of the time, there are things that you know that these things can wait. So I think what we can do is even in the midst of all the pressure, the budgeting, we should be able to do our budgeting. We should be able to ensure that we are just not spending anyhow, but we are looking at what is important, what matters. And the only way we can do this is when we are feeding our kids with the right kinds of food. You see, the good news about feeding our kids with the right kinds of food is that they don't snack a lot of times. When you give them the fibrous food, when you give them those foods that will make them full for a long time, realize that these kids don't go to the fridge anyhow to pick things up and down. That is savings for you. So instead of you saying that I am overwhelmed, there's no money, there's no this, why don't you rather focus on giving your kids very good food? For example, the contomates that we have. These are very good foods that we can give our kids. Instead of buying, for example, in the morning, buying a pack of cornflakes and feeding your kids, why don't you make Tom Brown for them? Why don't you make wait for them? So that when they eat these kinds of food, they get fuller for a long time. And so in the long while, they don't go to the fridge and pick yogurt. They don't go to the fridge and pick this. And so you save a little there. So for me, in the midst of all this, what I would tell fabulous ladies is that look at sealing those holes. And one of the ways that you can do is to ensure that you are feeding your kids with the right kinds of food.
I'm sitting there, I'm sitting here doing, I feel so proud of myself. You know, if this interview had been like last year, I would be hiding under some table. But Sena, is good that people like me listen to people like you. It helps. We are always learning from you. We may pretend or behave like we are not hearing you, but we do. So please keep talking. Thank you so much, Diana, for sharing that. And I think you've already led that into my next question, which is going to be about tips, you know. So, Coach Diana, you've shared about eating well and eating foods, you know, good foods that keep us, full so we are not snacking. I think somewhere here on my desk, I put something, or maybe in my head, I'm like, okay, no more snacking. It's enough. So I wrote that. I think I made a mental note or wrote. So when you were saying it, I was like, but hold you on that one for me. So yeah, what are some of the other tips in these times that women can, tiny changes that we can be making so that we are taking care of our bodies, essentially taking care of our physical wellness, taking care of, the three key things you mentioned, the nutrition, the hydration, and then the exercising. So starting with you, Sena, please.
All right. So, tough time calls for tough measures, isn't it? So I usually don't buy junk for my kids anyways. But once in a while, I allow them to just splurge. So, there are some foods that I buy. They're not really junk, but then they actually, things just to get them excited about eating Western diet, So I was telling my neighbor that, look, with all this skyrocketed prices and everything, I'm not going to, of course, I don't want to mention the brands of the things that I've cut off. But then I mentioned like the popular brands. My kids are not going to have this anymore. My kids are not going to have this anymore. But the truth is that, look, those foods are for entertainment. It's not like it's really like nutritious. I'm like, hey. So no more entertainment foods. Food for entertainment, you chim. The food is gonna it's fuel. So whatever they're putting in their bodies are actually things that are gonna fuel every single one of us. So entertainment foods have been eliminated from my house. And as much as possible, we try to cook meals without oil. I do it a lot of times. Sometimes I have visitors come visit, I serve them food and you're like, hey, did you use oil in this? And I'm like, no. You're like, oh my goodness, how'd you do it? So this was something I was doing even before the oil prices getting to the roof. So now that it's off the roof, clearly, they said there'll be no drop of oil in my house. But at the end of the day, you realize that all these things, it's actually working together for our good.
Amen.
It's going to make it easier for all of us to eat healthy.
I tell you, yeah.
And of course, the extra sugar and all that. I'm like, hey, kiddos, I'm not going to buy sugar. Yes, first of all, it's not even good for you. Secondly, it's expensive. You know, so I mean, there are things that there are very simple things that we can actually take out that would help our family to become healthier, and it also help us to save on our groceries, you know, because a lot of us spend so much on groceries. I mean, I think every Ghanaian is a manager because the prices are crazy, you know, and when we see what comes in and what goes out, you're wondering, how are we making up for the difference? You know, so God has been gracious. And I just want to tell every woman out there that, hey, this too will pass. And I mean, we're going to go through this together. And there's one thing that I just want to drop before I forget. You see, let's always remember to be grateful, because you see, this season calls for a lot of anxiety, but we can choose to practice gratitude, because you see, anxiety and gratitude cannot coexist. Okay, so whenever you're feeling anxious, choose to be grateful. You know, a few days ago, my husband was just sharing with me about a young lady in church who is battling cancer, and the doctors have said to her that she's going to die any moment. And whenever I think about it, this is a young woman in her 40s, no kids, no husband. And I'm like, oh my God, what is she going through? You know, how is she, like, what goes through her head? When I think about people, very awesome people who are going through very difficult times, I'm like, hey, we don't even have cause to complain. We are alive. We are in good health. That's enough. You know, the rest of the things, it will come, you know, and a lot of us is because we are comparing, we want to achieve this by this time. It's not a race, you know, life, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. If you're unable to achieve what you've set out to achieve by the end of the year, it's okay. You know, you've achieved the fact that you're alive. It's a big deal. Let's celebrate it, you know, and then let's just trust God at the right time. All the other things that we are trusting Him for, it will come to pass. Okay, so please, gratitude that we are alive. Gratitude that we can even listen to the Fabulous Women Network. I mean, listen to this podcast. That's enough. Others are even struggling to hear because others are in the hospital and all the other things. So I want to encourage every single listener, please, when you're feeling anxious, choose to practice gratitude.
Absolutely. You know, this evening, right before this recording, I was, so I came home, my light has been off, electricity has been off for over 24 hours now. I'm stressed about I'm not stressed actually, but I was like, oh God, please let it come, let the light come so that my food won't get spoiled and everything. And I thought, relax. Then I was like, okay, let me start looking at the positive things. So half of the light is off. So I have, at least I can see. So there's light, I can see, but the food, you know, and then God is like, chill, by tomorrow your food will still be fine. I'm like, yeah. And you know, I felt better just focusing on all the positive things that we have water, we have. So yeah, there's really power in gratitude. So thank you for sharing that, Sena. And Coach Diana, so Sena said something that I want you to build on a bit. So she mentioned 2 words. Oh my God, oil. Now, there was something you said, Sena. First of all, me cry oil. I'm like, there's a certain brand, I don't want to mention its name, but I don't like it. Like, okay, it's a vegetable oil. And I've seen videos of how it's made. And oh my God, I saw videos of how sugar is made. I showed it to my kids. I was like, guys, this is how sugar is made at the factory. Already now, I want us to stop. And then you come out, your prices have gone up. So now, this is the... Unfortunately, my kids won't do the coconut oil. Like, they see my food, they're like, ew, mommy, what is this?
Ew.
Like, ew, what is happening? So please, what are the alternatives for anyone listening like me whose kids don't want to stay away from vegetable oil? That's all they know. What are the options? What are some of the alternatives that we can use? So the oils, the sugars. Diana, please help us.
Okay, so first of all, oil is not something that should be taken in high quantities. So please, now that it's high up the roof, forget about it. What you can do most of the time is for you to be grilling your foods, to baking them. So you see, as for kids, it's a bit difficult you to start with them. But what you can do right now is for you to do it gradually. So get them to like it. Because research has said that for you to like a particular food, you need to try it 10 times.
Wow. Let me know.
10 times.
X.
So your child something and he says, Mommy, no, I don't want it. Don't give up. You need to try 10 times. So grill your foods. In fact, it is better for you to grill, for you to boil, for you to bake. These are things that you can do if you don't have the oil or if you don't want to buy oil. In fact, oil is not even good for you. Whether you're using oil, whether you're whatever it is, grilling your foods, baking your foods, roasting them is better instead of frying. In fact, what frying does for you is that it injects a lot of saturated fat into your system. Saturated fat doesn't help you in any way. It goes to clog your system. It goes to clog your liver. And so please stay away from all those oil. In fact, oil is not only that white one. Palm oil, because I know a lot of us, most of the time we'll make a spinach or kontomire and in fact pour the oil like
it has to represent.
Yes. No. So please, oil is oil. Butter is oil. Whatever it is, please have it in moderation. In fact, the sciences say that you have to take a thumb size of oil in a day. So all the things that you are eating, the butter you're adding to your bread, the whatever you are eating, it has to just be a thumb size. Think about it.
Yeah.
When you pour your oil and fry it, you use, in fact, the kelewele you're eating, whatever you're eating is all oil. Please drop them, dish them, fry your foods, bake them, and roast them. That's the way to go.
Okay. So that's for the oil. We are grilling, we are boiling, we are baking, we are roasting.
Yes.
What about the sugar?
When it comes to the sugar, please, sugar is a no-no. Now I have noticed a trend. People are saying, I don't eat sugar, but I take honey. Unfortunately, we have a lot of honey in the system, which is not honey. It's not proper honey. So you have something which has been poured in a jar and then sugar has been added to it. And so when you tell yourself you're not eating sugar, in fact, you're eating more than sugar because it's just liquid with white sugar. So if I think that the best way, and for me, the best thing you can do for yourself is to avoid it completely. Avoid sugar completely. Sugar is packed with so much calories, so much calories. A teaspoon of sugar contains so much calories. And so when you put it in there, you ask yourself, you're not even losing weight. And it goes to even make you more hungry. So when you drop your sugar, have you noticed? I don't know. Have you noticed that when you eat things that have a lot of sugar, you don't feel like stopping?
Oh, not at all.
You eat a lot
very
of
addictive.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very, very addictive. So eat and eat and eat. And so when it comes to even your physical well-being, you are so drained because you're looking for food, you're craving, and so sugar, if you can, as much as possible, let's avoid it. Okay. Yeah.
But coach, please wait. What about both of us with our sweet tooth? You know me, I'm fancy. What do we do?
For your sweet, then you need to look for very good honey. So, like I said, I'm sure that you can find the honey that you want if you really look for it. But like I said, there are a lot of those ones which are junk. So if you can find those real organic honey, then of course you can add it to your food. But even that, please don't eat it too much. You can take a little. Some of us, when we say we are taking honey, we are really taking it. It's a lot. Like we don't joke, we go all out.
Yeah.
So everything in moderation. When it comes to food has to be everything in moderation. So even in nutrition science, what we tell ourselves is we have a tangent. It's a tangent. You put the eat more or eat less. It's a tangent there. So for sugar, we'll say eat less of it. That's the time that we'll put it. We'll not say avoid, because we know, like you said, there are people who have sweet tooth and all that. So when we say eat less, it means you're taking just a small teaspoon and add it to your food. Not too much. And that works. That works as well.
Fantastic. Thank you. And then, there was something else. Something came to mind. What about stevia or monk fruits, maybe dates? What about sweetening? Like, for instance, I'm having breakfast and I sweeten it with dates or stevia or any of these sweets.
Okay, so there are two categories. So for stevia, for those who are diabetic and all that, they usually will use it. But even for those people, they are told to use it in very small quantities. For dates, those who want to lose weight, I will advise them to tread cautiously because dates has a lot of calories. Because of course the sugar content is high, so dates is packed with a lot of calories. So if you want to use dates, then you are also using it in moderation as well. If you are maintenance, for example, you've already achieved your weight goal and you're just maintaining your weight, then a notch higher is not bad. Otherwise, please, you need to be mindful. Like I've said already, everything, even too much of a good thing can be bad. So everything in moderation. Yeah.
All right. I feel like the Holy Spirit is asking me to ask this one too. So Sena, I'll put this one to you. What about intermittent fasting? I mean, I'm thinking, even before you answer, I'm like, that's an advantage. So if I eat 3 square meals a day, and look, times are hard. So let me do OMAD, 1 meal a day. What do you think, Sena?
Intermittent fasting, please. This one, I'll pass it to my coach. Coach Diana is my coach. She's been coaching me. See how she's saying that stop sugar. You see? I still take a little sugar, you see? So she's my coach. I'm still learning from her because I also belong to the sweet tooth family.
Oh, my sister, come for a hug.
So for that one, okay. So just to add, I mean, for those who have sweet tooth like myself, who need people like Coach Diana in their life to keep reminding them to avoid sugar, you can start by sweetening it with fruit. Okay, so it's one of the things that I do. I sweeten my beverages with fruit. Yes. So please, I'll let my coach respond to the intermittent fasting.
Sure.
So when you say intermittent fasting, what is the goal of doing intermittent fasting? Is it for you to lose weight, Amma?
Okay, for me, I started it because I think that I realized actually I don't really do breakfast anyway. So and then I belong to this group, like people were doing, and I was like, let me challenge myself. Hey, there was one time I did 36 hours. What? So then it has sort of become a habit. I mostly I can do OMAD or I can do 2 meals a day, but it has sort of become a habit, not for any particular purpose. But now thinking about the fact that, look, things are also difficult, I'm thinking, it's not bad though to be doing intermittent fasting,
Fasting. Yes. So you see, the thing with intermittent fasting is that when you decide that today I'm not going to eat because I'm fasting and I want to, and most of the time, the primary goal for those who do intermittent fasting is for them to lose weight. The thing about shutting down or about not putting food into your body is that your system identifies it. And so what it does is that it starts working on only the essential things on your body. So your system now has to shut down weight loss. Weight loss is auxiliary. It's not part of the essential things in the body. Your system now has to focus on your breathing. Your system now has to work on your kidneys because those things, you cannot live without them. And immediately it notices that there's no food coming in. That is, there's no energy coming in, it shuts them down. What happens? It means that your metabolism slows down. Your metabolism automatically slows down. And so you realize that for the first 1 week, you're going to lose some weight because your system is adjusting. After you stop intermittent fasting and you start putting food into your body anyhow, or just eating, Your system might, oh, now I have the food.
Open the floodgates.
That's right. This is why for us in TN, you will believe that you need to do what you do every day.
Yeah.
You don't stop and do something and now you go back to do something else. Your body needs to identify that this is the queen. This is the fabulous woman. This is what she does every day. And so eat your meal. If you're doing fasting, and I believe in fasting, biblical fasting, that is okay. But if your goal is for you to lose weight, then please, that is not a good measure of losing weight. In fact, the scientific thing is that energy in, energy out. And so if you are working out nicely and you are fit, you are hydrating and all that, you'll be physically fit, you're going to lose weight nicely. So for us in TNU, we don't believe that you should just do intermittent fasting. Yes, times are hard, but I think that your portions, when you control your portions, you can be able to also save some money for you to do what you have to do.
Fantastic answer. Thank you very much. So be consistent. If your body knows that you are not an OMAD girl, and you're fena, let me cut down. Your body will do like, hey, okay, let's go on. Oh my goodness, ladies, we've been talking forever. Let's wrap up. But seriously, I have totally enjoyed this conversation. But before I let you go, I have a few questions. So I'm going to start with you, Sena. You have actually already been on Mind Your Business. And
yes,
remember, you've answered these particular questions, but you answer them again. Perhaps your answers have changed. So you're going to complete the sentence with a short phrase. Okay. So the first one is, if I could advise my younger self in one short sentence, I would say,
don't be afraid, Sena. You're going to be great. Don't be afraid.
And you are great. Thank you. The second one is, I am fabulous because
I'm a child of God.
And then finally, one book that has greatly helped me in business is
Atomic Habits. Thanks to you. I actually picked the book because of your post on Facebook.
Yes, you mentioned
and,
it.
James Clear rocked my world. That book is a game changer. Thank you for it.
Yeah, thank you too for saying that. So other people should check it out too. Amazing book. Okay, Coach D. Let's call you Coach D. I don't even know why I said that. So first question. If I could advise my younger self in one short sentence, I would say,
live your best life. The world is your oyster.
Oh, thank you. I am fabulous because
coincidentally, it's the same thing. I'm a child of God. I don't know if Sena stole mine or I stole her.
Great minds think alike.
Yep. And then one book that has greatly helped me in business is
Motivational Interviewing.
Oh, really? By who?
I remember, but I have
never
the book.
mind.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, Google always.
I'd love to read it.
Yeah.
Send it to me as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. And I'm going to come to how to find, what's exciting in your business right now, Sena, but for Coach Diana, since this is the first time I'm having the opportunity to interview you and, people in our audience, some may know you because I know some of our ladies are part of your fabulous group. But just so for the rest, how do we find you? I know you're all the way in Egypt, but thanks to social media and all, I'm sure there's somewhere we can find you.
You can find TNU. I'm all over TNU. Thanks to Sena.
Fabulous. So all we have to do is to come to your website, or is it your social media handles?
Yes. So you can come. I have a Facebook page, but most of the time, I think when you come to TNU, you'll find me. So find me in TNU. Just get the handle on TNU, and then you can just find me there.
Fabulous. Thank you. And Sena, tell us what is exciting and popping in TNU right now.
Okay, so before I answer that, I must quickly add that Coach Diana is one of the most sought after coaches in TNU. She has a long list of people who are waiting to join her cohort. She is fabulous. She is fabulous. Anyways, so to your question, so for us in TNU, we have our annual flagship event, Healthtastic. It's a fun event that has been, designed in a way that you get to learn, and this year we are hosting Pistis, the founder, to tell us about her story, how it all started from her little beginning to the giant brand that she's built. Wow. And we also have another speaker, Ivy Ansah, and she's been listed as the 8th most prominent business in Ghana, in the Ghana Club 100. Very young people, they are both under 40 years and they've achieved so much, and we are excited to bless as many people as possible with the experience. So it's coming up on on the 19th of November at the Royal Century.
Wow.
At the Royal Century. Yes, and we can't wait. And we also have our lose to win. So every year we have our lose to win challenge. You lose and you get rewarded for losing. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So you actually lose and you actually get rewarded for losing. So that only happens in TNU. So if you're listening to this, you're a fabulous woman, you're actually going to get a special discount. So just let us know that you're a fabulous woman and we'll give you a special discount to join our community.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you so much, Coach Diana and Lady Boss Sena, and you're doing amazing. This your ministry. I'm praying that God continues to bless you and more millions of women around the world and develop more amazing coaches who will also develop more coaches and coaches.
Amen.
Coaches will share.
Amen. You're prophesying, woman of God. God bless you.
Thank you so much, ladies. Now, what did I say? I knew I would definitely learn something. So when Coach Diana said, it takes 10 times for someone to, get used to a new taste and begin to like it, I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Because I really am the sort of mother who has been given up. So I try to, like my son, for instance, he used to love coconuts. And then suddenly he says he doesn't like them. But it was the same for bananas as well. And then I realized that actually we have, at least where I live, we have 2 main varieties of bananas. So I decided I was going to give him the other one, what we call the Asante banana. And then he tasted, he was like, yes. So there are 2 different ones. That's how come I thought I didn't like it. Now I know I like it. It's just another kind. So yeah, it's really good to at least let them keep trying. So now, like, food, this is not a food for thought for me. This is a nugget. Like, I'm going to run with it. I'm going to keep coming at them, After a few days, I'll wait and then try again. Okay, right now I'm trying to get them to like wheat for breakfast. So I'll keep trying and then I'll see how that goes. And I loved it as well when Sena said that physical wellness is the one thing we can control. Absolutely. In these times where a lot of things are out of control, thank God that one of the things we can control is our physical wellness, at least what we eat, what we drink, and how we move. These are things that we can control, thank God. And all these other 8 dimensions, there are different things that we can control in them. So I look forward to sharing more and more and more and having such fabulous, fantastic guests speaking to us. I hope this has been of value to you. Please let me know in the chat, in the comments, what has spoken to you. And God willing, next week we'll come back with another dimension of wellness. Remember, mind your business, is a free resource. But if you prefer to work with Amma Duncan one-on-one, go to ammaduncan.com/store to book a discovery call with me. Until same time next week, see you. Bye. Toodles. Don't forget to subscribe and share.